Okay, madam. Right, madam. Okay, madam. Please continue.
Yes, MPC, MPC.
Madam, your voice is not audible. Madam, your voice is not audible.
Ultrastructure of bacteria, you have to cover all these subtopics. You have to study about shapes, structure of cell, and spores, etc. Okay, so we'll be studying briefly about all these subtopics. And coming to the first point, that is bacteria. Okay, we are studying about bacteria. So what are bacteria? Bacteria are very small, minute, prokaryotic, Pro means what? Whenever you want to understand any scientific term, okay, better break it, right? You have to break this word. Prokaryon. Prokaryon. Pro means primitive. Karyon means nucleus. Okay, so what are prokaryotic microorganisms? The microorganisms which are having primitive nucleus is called as prokaryotes. Okay, and these are single-celled and has circular DNA not bound by nuclear membrane. Right? Means these are single cell, means these are only like we are having many cells in our body. We are having different organs, different level of organization is there in our body. But bacteria, they are having only single cell, and in the center DNA will be there, right? So that DNA is not bound by bound by any nuclear membrane, and it lacks membrane bound organelles such as endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, etc. Means not only nuclear membrane is absent, other membrane bound organelles are also absent in this bacteria. It has plasmids. Plasmids means these are extra chromosomal genetic elements which are present in the cytoplasm. Genetic means genetic element is, main genetic element is DNA, right? Apart from DNA, we are having RNA also, right? But What is plasmid? It is not the main component. It is the extra genetic elements or small DNA fragments which are present in the cytoplasm. They are called as plasmids, and they can be measured in, the cells can be measured in micrometers. Okay, so now we have understood what are bacteria. These are very small in size. They do not have nuclear membrane. They do not have membrane bound organelles, right? Then where these are present, right? They are present everywhere. Okay, means they are omnipresent. Okay, you can't say here bacteria is there and there it is not there, like, right? It is present everywhere. You can take any condition, whether it is low temperature areas or high temperature areas, high pressure areas, wherever you see, even on Mars, you can find the bacteria. Bacteria are the earliest inhabitants of the earth, and they are present in soil, water, air, hot springs, radioactive waste, earth crust. They are present everywhere, and they show symbiotic and parasitic relationships. Means they are interacting with each other. Like we are interacting, we are talking to each other. Bacteria also interact with each other. What kind of interaction is that? It can be a symbiotic interaction or parasitic interaction. Symbiotic means, sym means together. Okay, they are living together. Parasitic means they will affect one another. Okay, they are acting as parasites. And there are about 40 million bacteria per gram of soil. If you take a gram of soil, a little pinch of soil, okay, how many bacteria will be there in that? Around 40 million bacteria, just to see the number. Okay, 10 times more bacteria in human body, right? Even more number, 10 times more number is present in our body. It will always, like in COVID period, we are using the sanitizer and all. Why? To remove that virus. Okay, it is not that we are not having bacteria or viruses in our body. They are there. Okay, for a healthy life, we should have some normal flora. We should have some set of microorganisms inside our body and on the surface of our body also, right? Importance of bacterial studies used as models in physiological and biochemical and genetic research. Means whatever research has been done in science area or biology area or microbiology area, okay, how the scientists have found out many things, whether it is a DNA structure, RNA structure, how proteins are working, how they have discovered this rDNA technology. Everything is based on work on microorganisms. Okay, because these are very, what do you say? Much used tools for research, and they are helpful in fermentation. Everyone is having curd, right? Okay, perugu tintaru kada. So in curd, how this, what is there? There is bacteria, lactobacillus.
Lactobacillus.
Right. So fermentation, idli batter, dosha batter, how these batters are you are making? You have to wait for overnight period, right? Why you are waiting for that overnight period? So that there should be fermentation happen in that vessel, in that batter, and then whatever carbohydrates are there, they should be broken down into easily digestible compounds along with the gas. That is why this gas will be there when you mix the batter in the morning. Next, nutrient recycling. Okay, so if you are having a cell, you just see your hand. Okay, in that hand there are many cells, right? Just we are talking about a single cell, right? In that single cell, if you go into the cell, what is there? There can be DNA, there can be RNA, there can be protein, there can be carbohydrate, many things are there. Okay, then when you go further beyond, okay, again into that carbohydrates, what is there? There is a carbon, there is a hydrogen, there is a nitrogen, there is a phosphorus, yes or no? So these are called as nutrients. And we see every day many kids are being born, many animals are born, right? And many people will also die every day, yes or no? So how this carbon which is there in our body, from where it is coming? Yes, it has to get recycled in nature. That is the reason why the dead body is buried or burnt, so that the elements has to go into the earth and again it has to get recycled. Everything is fixed, right? Nothing comes extra into this atmosphere. Next, nitrogen fixation. So in the cycling of this carbon cycle, you might have studied about carbon cycle, nitrogen cycle. These microorganisms are the important agents in recycling of these elements. And nitrogen fixation, have you heard about rhizobium? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
How many participants do we have, ma? 15. Okay, right. So nitrogen fixation, rhizobium. This is the best example. So what is happening in nitrogen fixation? It is trapping that atmospheric nitrogen and it is converting that atmospheric nitrogen into amino acids and proteins. Basically, in nitrogen fixation, N2 is converted into ammonia. That's it. Next. Food for animals and humans. Have you heard about mushrooms? Yes, you have to interact.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So, just to choose her. Tinhara eppudaina?
No, madam.
No. Okay. Have you heard about single cell protein?
Yes, ma'am.
Spirulina. Yes. Many fodder అంటే ఫుడ్ ఫర్ యానిమల్స్ ఏదైతే పెట్టారో అందులో ఈ మైక్రో ఆర్గానిజమ్స్ ని కలిపి పెట్టారు so that it can serve as a source of protein for them. Okay. Similarly, humans also, they are consuming mushrooms and this single cell protein, spirulina, etc. Means we are eating that microorganisms. Scientists say that in future generation, there may come a time when a kid going to the school, they may not carry the lunch box as we are carrying. They may just carry one capsule of spirulina and they may go to school. Okay, in lunch time they just have that capsule that is sufficient for them to fulfill the nutritional needs of that kid. Are you able to understand? That may come, the time may come, right? And environment is clean. See how many benefits we are getting from bacteria or the microorganisms, right? They are helping in cleaning of the environment, recycling of the wastes, minerals, soil fertility. Okay, if today someone has died, okay, we have buried that body, right? After few years, if you remove that body, will there be any mass left there, flesh left there? No. What
No,
is happening to that flesh? Who is working on that? Yes, no animal can reach there. It is everywhere. The microorganisms which are converting that mass into elements, right? Am I clear to all of you? If you respond fast, read fast.
Yes, madam.
Okay, fine. Okay. Coming to the size. You know the size of your eye? Yes? You have seen the, what do you say, algae? ఎవరైనా చూసారా algae? Algae ఎక్కడ ఉంటుందమ్మా? Fast. If you respond, I'll move on.
Fresh water.
Water body. Yes, ఎక్కడైనా ఎక్కువ నిల్వగా ఉంటే you can see that algae green color లో ఉంది. That is eukaryote. You remember that is eukaryote. Okay. Prokaryotes ఎట్లా ఉన్నాయి? Eukaryotes కన్నా చిన్నగా ఉంది. See, blue colored cell is eukaryotic cell and this is organelle of this eukaryotes and దీని organelle కన్నా చిన్నది బ్యాక్టీరియా. Okay, bacteria కన్నా చిన్నది virus, then proteins, lipids, small molecules, atoms. This is the relative size of the bacteria. So bacterial size ఎక్కడ వస్తుంది? 1 micrometer, 1 to 10 micrometers దగ్గర మీకు bacterial size అనేది వస్తుంది. Next. So this is what we have discussed, whereas bacteria can have different shapes. Spherical bacteria తీసుకుంటే 0.5 to 2 micrometers, the size can be there. And rod-shaped bacteria will have 1 to 10 micrometers, right? Spirochetes. Spirochetes is the spiral cell, and Epilopiscium fistuloni. This is the smallest bacteria. Its size is 600 micrometers into 800 micrometers. And Mycoplasma gallisepticum is the biggest bacteria, that is 200 to 300 nanometers. This is also the smallest, and biggest is Thiomargarita namibiensis. It is measuring 0.1 to 0.3 millimeter. Millimeter, you can see it on the scale, right? You know what is millimeter, right? So this
Yes.
bacteria you can see through naked eye. Next, shapes of bacteria. I think you have some idea. They are round shaped, that is cocci, rod shaped, bacillus, and comma shaped, vibrio, and spirillum shaped, that is spiral shaped. Okay, these are the different shapes. And here you can see round cells. This is cocci. In cocci, you have different arrangements. Okay, if it is a single cell, you have to call it as a monococci. If it is two cells, diplococci. Grape bunch arrangement, Staphylococcus. A chain-like arrangement, Streptococcus, and cuboid arrangement is Sarcina, and four cells arranged together is tetrad. And these are the examples of these arrangement of cells. Okay. Monococcus can be seen in Micrococcus roseus. Diplococci can be seen in pneumonia cell. Streptococci can be seen in Streptococcus lactis, which is present in the curd. Okay, like that. Staphylococcus aureus, which is grape bunch arrangement. You can see on your hand, on the skin, it is present. Next, coming to the bacillus. Bacillus means which shape? Fast.
Rod shape, madam.
Rod shape. Very nice. Very nice. So this bacillus also have different arrangements. Cocobacillus. It is the intermediate between round shaped cell, that is coccus, and the rod shaped cell, that is bacillus, cocobacillus. And bacillus is having again single bacilli, diplobacilli, palisade arrangement, and streptobacilli. Streptobacilli means a chain form arrangement, and palisade means like matchsticks will be there now in the matchbox, like that cells will be arranging in vertical fashion. Okay, these are the examples. Diplobacilli is present in Corynebacterium diphtheria. Streptobacilli is present in Streptobacillus moniliformis. Palisade arrangement is seen in diphtheria bacilli. Next, Vibrio. It is a comma-shaped bacteria. Here you can see in Vibrio cholerae bacteria, and spirillum is a spiral-shaped one. Here, example is Treponema pallidum. They show they appear like corkscrew, round spiral form. Okay, next, other shapes. Not only whatever we have discussed till now, they are the general shapes. Okay, round shape, rod shape, comma shape, spiral shape, right? Apart from that, there are other shapes also. Okay, then what are they? They may have star shaped, they may have filamentous shape, they may have square shape, they may have pleomorphic. Okay, this right side second image, you can see different shapes there. That is pleomorphism, means they are showing different shapes. Are you able to follow, all of you?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. So just see this. This slide is more important in the entire lecture. Okay. Here you can understand different parts. I have logged with the phone, that is why I'm not able to show the cursor. You can see the outermost layer, capsule. What is the outermost layer of the cell? Capsule. Below that, cell wall will be there. Below the cell wall, cell membrane will be there. Below the cell membrane, you will be having cytoplasm. In the cytoplasm, you will be having ribosomes, chromosomes, plasmids, nuclear material, inclusion bodies. Okay. And on the outer side, you'll be having villi and flagella. అర్థమవుతుందా మీకు? బయటి నుండి layers, if you count, outermost layer is, చెప్పండి, capsule, below that, cell wall, next, cell membrane, next, cytoplasm, very nice. In the cytoplasm, ribosomes, good, nuclear material, and inclusion bodies,
Yeah.
right? On the outer side,
Live flagella.
villi and flagella, very nice. So, what are flagella? They are used for the movement of the bacteria. How you move from one place to another?
Legs.
Yes, using your legs. Bacteria etla move avvali? We are using flagella. Okay, next. Single unte, it is flagellum. Right? And it is made of a protein called as flagellin. The protein present in flagella is called as flagellin, and it is used as a taxonomic tool. And you can distinguish the bacteria based on the presence and absence of flagella. And flagellum consists of 3 parts: vessel, body, hook, filament. These are the parts, and the function is motility. This is the structure of the flagella. Here you will be having different parts in the flagella based on gram positive and gram negative cells. As you have not studied about the gram positive and gram negative cells, do you have any idea of gram positive and gram negative cells, ma? If you have, we can continue this slide. Okay, so one is showing gram positive cell wall, and one is showing gram negative cell wall. Okay, next. Different types of flagellar arrangements. If flagella is single in number, that is monotrichous. If they are present as a tuft on one side, it is lophotrichous. If it is, there are 2 tufts, it is amphitrichous. And if the flagella are throughout the body, it is peritrichous. And if there are no flagella, it is atrichous. You can get a bit from here. Okay. What do you mean by amphitrichous? If you have 2 tufts of flagella, it is amphitrichous. Next. These are the examples. Right? Pili. What is pili? It is a small structure than flagella, and it is mostly present in gram-negative bacteria, and they are controlled by genes on the plasmids. Don't help in motility. Flagella are helping in motility, but pili are not helping in motility, and they can be mechanically removed. And there are 5 to 6 types of pili. They are having different functions. Okay, flagella is helping only in the movement of the cell, whereas pili is having different functions. Okay, what is that function? They may have antigenic property. Okay, what do you mean by antigenic property? Suppose if we talk about coronavirus itself, okay, if it is entering into our body will react to it, right? When it can react to that coronavirus, when it has antigenic property, means that is acting as antigen, and our body is producing antibodies, right? So pili is acting as an antigen. Fimbria agglutinates with blood cells. Agglutination you have studied now, blood grouping, that is done by pili. And Fimbria affects metabolic activity. Sex pili transfer genome. You might have studied about conjugation in your lower classes. That is done by pili. And some pili are used for attachment. For surface attachment, they are using this pili. What is capsule? It is the outermost layer or a slimy or gummy layer present on the cell, and it is generally called as glycocalyx. If it is tightly bound, it is called as capsule, and if it is loosely bound, slime layer. This is a minute difference. Okay, capsule or slime layer. You can get a question: what is the difference between capsule and a slime layer? Capsule is a tightly bound layer. Slime layer is a loosely bound one, and it is helping in the pathogenicity. Pathogenicity means it is the ability to cause the disease. And polysaccharides means capsule is made of polysaccharides in Streptococcus and Xanthomonas, and capsule may be also made of polypeptides. Polypeptides means proteins. Okay, that is present in Bacillus subtilis and Bacillus anthracis. Every point can be a bit. You have to follow very keenly. See this slide? It is the capsule. In the center, the cell is there. That round halo is there, no? That is the capsule. Why this colorless region is present? Because the capsule is not getting stained. That is why we are able to see the halo around the cell. What is the function of the capsule? As I said, it helps in pathogenicity to cause the disease or to escape from the immune system of our body, protects from desiccation, means drying, cell won't get dried, and exclude bacterial, viruses, and toxins. See, we have threat with bacteria, even viruses, right? Bacteria is also having threat. Yes, do you believe? Can you believe that? They are also having threat. With what? With viruses. with toxins. Okay, so in that cases, capsule can protect them. And for attaching to streams, plant roots, teeth, tissues, and other bacteria, if they are having capsule, they can attach to any surface, and it is species specific and buffer between cell and external environment. Different species will have different types of capsules, and it is acting as a buffer. It will protect the cell from the environment. Beneath the capsule, what we have seen, that is cell wall. Okay, cell wall is present beneath the capsule and protects from osmotic pressure and gives shape to the cell. Where just now we have discussed, no, bacteria are having different shapes. If we are saying a cell is round in shape, from which part that is getting that shape? What is responsible for that shape? It is cell wall. You have to remember. The shape for a cell is given by which part? It is cell wall. Okay. And protects from osmotic pressure. You have studied about osmosis, no? What is osmosis? Yes, it is the movement of ions from high pressure to low pressure, or low pressure to high pressure through a semi-permeable
Low
membrane.
pressure to high pressure.
Remember the definition. Okay, so that is osmosis. So cell wall is protecting the cell from that osmotic pressure. And thickness, it can be 100 to 250 angstroms, and bacteria are two types, gram positive and gram negative. Again, based on the cell wall, cells are differentiated into two types. What are the two types, ma'am? Gram positive and gram negative. Okay, in the cell wall, important component is peptidoglycan. Remember this word, peptidoglycan. So in this peptidoglycan, what are there? There will be a backbone, there will be a tetrapeptide side chain, there will be a peptide interbridge or cross-link. Okay, these are the parts of the peptidoglycan. And what are present in peptidoglycan? This is the important bit. NAG and NAM. These are the short forms. NAG and NAM. What is NAG? N-acetyl glucosamine. What is NAM? N-acetyl muramic acid. Okay, NAG is N-acetyl glucosamine and NAM is N-acetyl muramic acid. And this is the structure of peptidoglycan monomer. Here, what I mean to say is, if you are constructing a wall, okay, you'll be putting bricks one by one, right? Here, it is one of the brick of peptidoglycan. Okay, in that brick, what is there? NAG is there, NAM is there. Both are connected to each other, and to this, what do you say? This NAM, there is a amino acids attached, L-alanine, D-glutamic acid, diaminopimelic acid, D-alanine, and this is called as a tetrapeptide. Okay, between two layers, you will be putting, between two layers of bricks, you will be putting that cement. No? So here, between two layers of NAG and NAM, there will be a tetrapeptide. That is the linking agent for two layers. Okay, just see here, peptide cross-link. Two layers are there. NAG, NAM, NAG, NAM, one layer, and second layer is at the base, and in between what is there? Peptide cross-link is there. Okay, one peptide is coming from that side, one peptide is coming from this side, and both are linked by peptide cross-link. Okay, is this clear? ఈ స్లైడ్ అర్థమవుతుందమ్మా మీకు?
ఇంకోసారి చెప్పండి మేడం.
As we are constructing the wall, bricks పెడతాం కదా, ఒక లేయర్ లో బ్రిక్స్ పెట్టాం, ఇంకో లేయర్ లో బ్రిక్స్ పెట్టాం. ఓకే, రెండు లేయర్స్ మధ్యలో ఏముంటుంది? సిమెంట్ పెడతాం కదా. అట్లాగే ఇక్కడ టూ లేయర్స్ ఉన్నాయి. ఓకే, ఒక లేయర్ లో నాగ్ నామ్ నాగ్ నామ్ నాగ్ నామ్ ఒక లేయర్ ఉంది. ఓకే, దాని కింద ఇంకొక లేయర్ ఉంది కదా, అక్కడ కూడా నాగ్ నామ్ నాగ్ నామ్ ఉన్నాయి. ఆ రెండు లేయర్స్ కి మధ్యలో ఏముంది? ఒక లేయర్ లోంచి ఎన్-ఎసిటైల్ మ్యూరామిక్ యాసిడ్ నుంచి టెట్రాపెప్టైడ్ వస్తుంది, ఇంకో లేయర్ లోంచి ఎన్-ఎసిటైల్ మ్యూరామిక్ యాసిడ్ లోంచి గ్రీన్ కలర్ స్ట్రక్చర్స్ టెట్రాపెప్టైడ్ వస్తుంది. ఈ రెండు టెట్రాపెప్టైడ్స్ పెప్టైడ్ క్రాస్ లింక్ తోని జాయిన్ అవుతున్నాయి. పెప్టైడ్ క్రాస్ లింక్ తోని జాయిన్ అవుతుంది. దట్ ఈస్ ద కనెక్టింగ్ లింక్ బిట్వీన్ టూ లేయర్స్. అర్థమైందమ్మా? రెండు లేయర్స్ ని జాయిన్ చేస్తుంది పెప్టైడ్ బాండ్. అంతే, పెప్టైడ్ క్రాస్ లింక్ రెండు లేయర్స్ ని జాయిన్ చేస్తుంది. యూ హ్యావ్ టు రిమెంబర్ దిస్ మచ్. two layers of peptidoglycan is joined by peptide cross-link. Next. And just now I told you, gram positive and gram negative cell. This is the structural difference. On the left side, we have gram positive cell, and right side, we have a gram negative cell. And you see the differences. Okay. Better we go from the base. In the base, we are having cytoplasmic membrane with proteins. Above that, there is a periplasm. Right end you see. Next is outer membrane. Next is lipopolysaccharides. Okay. Here in cytoplasmic membrane, it is common, almost common. Okay. And between the cytoplasmic membrane and the outer membrane, there is a periplasmic space in the gram negative cell wall, and in gram positive cell wall, after the cytoplasmic membrane, we are having peptidoglycan. Here also you are having peptidoglycan layers are there, but this peptidoglycan is less in gram negative cell wall, and it is more in gram positive cell wall. అర్థమవుతుందా? gram negative cell wall లో peptidoglycan layers తక్కువగా ఉన్నాయి, blue layers. gram positive లో ఎక్కువగా ఉన్నాయి. Then gram positive cell wall లో lipotecoic acid, టికోయిక్ యాసిడ్స్ ఉంటాయి. గ్రామ్ నెగటివ్ సెల్ వాల్ లో lipotecoic acids ఉండవు. And apart from that, gram negative cell wall will have LPS. What is LPS? Lipopolysaccharides. Lipopolysaccharide layer will be present in gram negative cell wall. It is absent in gram positive cell wall. Okay, I'm briefing it again. Gram positive, it will have more peptidoglycan than gram negative cell wall, and gram negative cell wall will have lipopolysaccharide extra membrane. Extra to that, what gram positive cell wall is having. Just 2 points you have to remember. This is the difference between two. Cell wall is thin in gram negative cells. It is thick in gram positive cells, and lipid content is more in gram negative cells, and amino acids are less in gram positive cells and more in gram negative cells. Muramic acid, peptidoglycan, other name is muramic acid. Other name for peptidoglycan is muramic acid. It will be more in which type of cells, ma? Yes. Gram positive cells will have more peptidoglycan. Next, ticoic acid is present in gram positive cells. It is absent in gram negative cells. And lipopolysaccharides are absent in gram positive cells, and they are present in gram negative cells. Gram positive cells lo undi, gram negative lo ledu. Lipopolysaccharide ekkada undi? Gram negative lo undi, gram positive lo ledu. Okay. Polar flagella are absent. They are present in gram negative, sensitive to penicillin, sensitive to streptomycin. You have heard about antibiotics, na? Yes, antibiotics, medicines. Okay, so they can act on this bacteria. Different antibiotics are required for different type of bacteria. So these are the functions of the cell. It will give the shape, and if LPS, lipopolysaccharide, is present, that will give antigenicity to that cell, and it protects the cell protoplast. Whatever contents are present inside the cytoplasm, they can be protected from lysis or injury. And location